So this head became kind of fine. I mean, yeah, I'm not super mad with it. So what I advise you to do is we need to start a new file, or we need to delete this file. For example, we can delete all those things and start a new, or we can go to scene and just add new scene. How to do that? You go here on those papers, here in the top right corner, those papers next to the scene, and you add new one. So what happens now is on this Blender file, you will have scene, which is the first one, and next one is scene 01. You just click on this kind of a cone and ball icon, browse scene to be linked, and now you see scene here, and scene 01 is your new scene, which is very cool. Okay, in the same Blender file, you can have, like I used to have like 10 scenes on one file, which is very great because when you open this file, you can have multiple projects. Of course, if your project is very big, your file will become pretty big. Now I have a file which is 1.5 GB, just one Blender file with one scene inside it, but it's like almost 10 million polygons inside, so it becomes pretty big. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Now, what we need to do is to add a sphere to start with. Let's add a sphere. Shift A, Mesh, and Sphere. Now we have our sphere, but what do we do? What can we do now? We have to do the mouse, right? Okay, let's do the mouse. Let me just move myself a little bit like this, by the way, because I want to show you something here. Something just in here. This here. What is this? This is when you add an object, when you do some like transformations of an object, when you add edge loop inside edit mode or something, you will always have a window appear here, which is minimized like this. But to click on it, and you can change the object of a sphere. You can change the things for the sphere, the segments, the rings. You can make it like this or like this. You can make a lot of things, and this is pretty useful. But we need it to be a pretty nice sphere. The radius, in the beginning you can change it to be small or big. Let's make it a little bit smaller. And all of this you can do until you click somewhere. Then it disappeared. But before you do something else, you can press F9 to get it again and change a few more things if you like. So this will appear eventually if we put whatever on our screen, and this will pop up here. And I will pay attention to this when it's right. I mean, now we don't care about this that much, so we don't care. But for just for your information. So now this is our sphere. We have to go to edit mode, no, to object, to sculpt mode. We have to go through all the modes. So first edit mode, we don't care. We go to Control Tab, sculpt mode. Now we care. Okay, what was the first thing we need to do in sculpt mode? We need to apply to make sure our symmetry is on, the X symmetry. So we click on the X here. We make sure that we have symmetry. Without symmetry, it's impossible to work. Now we need to have our concept, this one, around our screen. Especially when we're working with laptops, we don't have second screen. We need this concept to be around. How to do that? I advise you to take one program, which is free, which is called, let me see how it was called. It's this program, which is called PureRef. So this program is very nice for references. You can put a lot of references inside. And how to put it? You just take your picture and put it inside, and then zoom out with the scroll wheel, and you will have it inside. You can zoom in and out, and this will keep itself. Of course, if you get to the options, which is right click, and then we have to find settings, and then we have to find opacity. For example, we need a little bit lower opacity because we need to see what's happening behind this, maybe someday, sometimes. And also for the preferences, we need it to be on top. And let me see, where is this preference? Okay, probably it's not exactly here. Probably it's right click, mode, always on top. When you check this, or Control Shift A, and the program will be always on top of your things, and Blender, while you work with Blender, it will stay here like this. You can scale it, of course, and everything. So now, for now, we need only the head, so I will let it be like this. Of course, when we go to these menus here, it will be problematic, but we will move it. With the right mouse button, we move it. With the left mouse button, we move inside the picture. We move the picture inside it. We can have more than one picture inside. We can have 10 or 50 or whatever. And then we can save it with the file and then open it with all the pictures inside. It's a very convenient program. I advise you to use it. Most of the 3D artists are using it. I'm using it only for my courses, I can admit, because I have a couple of monitors, 2 monitors and 1 TV. So I always view my my references, my concepts on my other monitor. That's how I do it. That's how I roll. So now we rotate with Alt, and we see what's happening. Now I grab my tablet, and we have to find this shape of the head. So let me kind of show you what exactly is this shape. Let's analyze a bit the concept. It's very important, by the way, for you to analyze the concept, to see what's what in the concept. Let's try to do that. Okay. Now, this head is not exactly circular. You see, from this to here, there is a little bit of kind of angle. It's not angle. Here is more flat on the top. Here, you see the shape, how it's going? It's not exactly a circle. It's like flatter in here, flatter in here, flatter in here, and there those are also flat, and they're kind of smooth, which is good. This, the nose part and the mouth, is very small compared to the overall shape of the head, so we have to pay attention to that too. I will also draw the head of the mouse from the side view, so you can see it, how it could work from the side view. It will be something like this. This will be the nose, this will be our mouth, this will be our eyes, pretty big eyes, yes, and something like this. So small, very small nose part, but going forward, here we'll have sharp angle, because you see like this, and then we'll have straight up a forehead. And why is that? Because straight up forehead is always good. It looks like a baby, it looks cute, it looks like this. Also, the neck will be kind of in the middle of the head. So this distance between the back of the head and the front of the head will be kind of similar. And we will have this kind of thing in the back and also in the front. Because if you make the neck and then the head like this, it will not look good at all. Then the ears will be around this area, very big ears. As you can see, they are super big. And I will analyze, of course, the overall proportions of our character, but not now. For now, we have to concentrate only on the head, because that's what we are supposed to do here now. Okay. Now we can start slowly. First, I will move this, make it small. And now we can start with G and then increase the size of our brush. Press G, increase the size of our brush with the bracket keys, and make this. And then like this, just make sure you have this form that I've shown you, this form. Here I'll push a little bit, I'll rotate, and of course the front part of the head will be the part that you have 2 dots, because you have symmetry, and that's what you have to kind of pursue. We can change the form of the head, of course, later, but for now, okay, from the side view, I need to make sure the neck is around the middle point. And here we will have to make some kind of a this face. So I'll move few vertices. Just vertex by vertex, I will move them forward. If you don't know what vertex is, these are the dots that the edges of the geometry are crossing. Those are vertices. They are points. Points of intersection. The polygons are those areas that are surrounded by the edges. So yeah. So this is what we have now. It's not much. It's not difficult to make. And of course now we need more geometry. So we'll go Control R. Directly Control R. And it's not very nice. So we'll go to Shift R. Or we go to Remesh, of course, I told you. Or we go to this triangle. It's up to you. Here, Remesh. And I think we need to go Shift R and go down like, for example, let's go 0.4. 0.4 is okay. And Control R. And now we have this. But you will see that this is not symmetrical. It's I see it. Maybe you don't see it, but it's not symmetrical. So how to make it symmetrical? We go to this symmetry window here, a little arrow, and then symmetrize, the most bottom icon or button. Just press it and it will symmetrize your mesh. It will symmetrize, it will take the right part in this case and put it on the left. It depends on what is here, minus x to x, because minus x obviously is this part here and x is this part, so minus x, it put it to x. If you have worked on this part, like I always do on the left part here, or his right, if I press X and I just do this, and if I work on this part and suddenly I wanna kind of put it to the other side, I will go here, change this to plus X to minus X and symmetrize. In your case, maybe you are it depends on what you want to achieve, of course. For example, if I forgot to press X and I'm starting to work here, and I work here, and I'm kind of yeah, very nice, just half of it, and I'm working, I'm doing some stuff, and suddenly I said, oh, I didn't press symmetry. So I'll go here, I press the symmetry to have it, and then symmetrize, and it will just copy it to the other side. But it depends on which side you are, minus X or X. You can always check it out. For example, if I work on this side, I want to make for example, a horn. Let's go to G. I make this horn, but without symmetry because I forgot it. I make it here, and then I have minus X to plus X, which is the default, and I press symmetrize and I lose the horn, and I say, oh no, Control Z, Control Z. Then I go here, change it to plus X, minus X, and then symmetrize, and I will have my horn, which is obviously looks like pig now, but whatever. Okay, now remember the small nose part and sharp angle in here, and also this forehead should be kind of big. Of course, we have to put our symmetry on again. And let's see, the eyes should be pretty big. We'll do that. No issues. Pretty big. And I'm not digging too much for the eyeballs. I'm just a little bit with X and then Control and just a little bit just to see where they could be. That's it. And then I smooth. I smooth very lightly with the tablet. That's why I prefer to use a tablet for sculpting. Not I prefer. I obviously have to use, and you also have to use tablet because you have pen pressure. And you can very lightly press with Control, for example, here to make the smile. A little bit here. Just to have some things. Very lightly pressure. Don't do some hard pressure, especially when you smooth, because you will lose everything. You have to be careful with the smoothing. Then this head, or this part of the head in the beginning, could take you a while, but take your time and don't rush it, because it's important. And also in the beginning you always will be slow. It's inevitable. You are just beginner in the program. I also was slow when I started using Blender. Although I was using before 3D Max, I was using ZBrush, so I knew some 3D programs and I kind of was good in them. I still am, maybe. But in the new 3D program, we are everybody is slow in the beginning. So yeah, now the next thing we want to do is ears. So if we go to this stage already, and you make sure you have this forehead, and maybe the head is too big in the side, I mean in the back forward, we have the head. We can add a mesh. How to add a mesh? Again, I will show you. We have to go to object mode. So Control Tab and left, go to object mode. Now we have to add a mesh. We can go here and add mesh sphere, but I cannot do it because this is on my way, so I will do it with the shortcuts. Shift A, not Control A, Shift A. It's very close. I mean, this is very useful because this operation, adding a mesh, we use it pretty often. We do that all the time. So Shift A, mesh, and UV sphere. We add the sphere. Immediately we press Tab, and then this is our ear. Yeah, it doesn't look like much. It doesn't look like ear, but now I will show you some trick. Instead of going to transform, and for example transform it like this and move it with G, for example, it's okay, you can do it. But how I do it? I will not go to transform. I will go to G, move it a little bit just to see it better, and then I will press S to transform it. And now, while I am on transform, I will press Y. Why? Why? Because when I press Y, it will start transform it only on Y-axis. And how I know this is the Y-axis? Because I see here that Y-axis is green, X-axis is red, and Z-axis is blue. Of course, Z-axis, we cannot see it in the viewport here, but we see the green axis, which is Y, and we can know that we will scale on this axis. If we want to scale it on other axis, for example, Z-axis, we can press Z and start scaling it on Z. Amazing. I press escape and I get away from this. I probably want to move it a little bit forward, but not in the middle of the head, although in the middle of the head, no, a little bit backwards than the middle probably, a little bit, not too much. So maybe the front part of the ear will be in the middle of the head, something like the real person will do. Then I will scale it again on Y-axis to smash it a bit more, like this. And this will be our one ear, one of our ears. I will move it a little bit more on the side because, you see, I don't want it to pass through the middle point here. I don't want it to go like this, because when I do my symmetry and make it symmetrical, it will be a mess. It's not good. So now, of course, like always, we can go back to object mode with Tab, and then we go to add a modifier, which is a mirror modifier, and everything will be okay. But this time I will show you something else. Not using the mirror modifier. I know it's something new. It's something scary, but it's okay. We can use it. Let me see the ears, how big they are. Okay. We go to sculpting mode by Control Tab down, sculpting mode, and now we just go here and press symmetrize, and we have it. Of course, if your symmetry is different than plus X to minus X, yours, for example, is default minus X to X, you have to keep it this way. Mine is, in this case, plus X to X, and I like to work only on this part of the model. And then I symmetrize it. Then I will press X to have symmetry, and now we can work on this ear. What we have to know is, in the beginning, when you work on something, you want to make the shape of it. You make your brush, your grab brush very big, and you just start working on it big. So you notice how the ears are going. I will show it to you in a minute. Okay, I think this, but the distance between the ears is bigger in the concept, so I will increase it. And few more things. It's more round. We have to be careful not to do things like this, for example, or like this. We have to it's very, you know, everything is very smooth in here. This is kind of a cartoon model, so mesh or concept. So we have to be careful about that. And also we can start with our draw brush, and then Control and dig a little bit here in the inside, and then smooth it, and it will start looking alright for us. In the back we can go 6, which is our inflate brush, as you know. I told you how to make the shortcuts of these brushes, and I can inflate the back of it, because the ear, in my opinion, should be in this shape. Inflate it in the back and deflate it in the front like this. Not exactly like this, but something like this. We will fix it later. The idea is that let's see some things, a little bit more things about the concept. It's very important. Maybe in the next video, but let's do it now, and in the next video we'll continue. So I will press this like this, and now. Okay, I cannot go to this. Now I did it. Okay, now you see this ear from here to here. How big is it? It's longer than the head with the neck, even. It's a little bit longer. It's a very big ear, so we have to do it big. And also it's going from the head, and the distance here is pretty big too, between the ears, so don't make them close together. So from here it's going up, and then very slightly curves and goes here. So it's going here absolutely on the side, and here is going almost vertical, but not exactly, a little bit tilted. So those things you have to keep in mind. You have to always see this in relativity, in relation to the other things and stuff like this. For example, see this, how big is this part of the glasses? Super huge. It's amazingly huge. It's bigger than half of the head, and it's kind of going away. So the head is stopping in here. Let me just disable this. So the head is ending here, and the glasses are continuing up to here. So they are bigger than half of the head. Then from here the head is stopping here, and the glasses are going here all the way in here. So very big glasses. We have to do that, because otherwise it will not be okay. The distance between the eyes, see, it's less than one eye, because the eyes are pretty big, and the distance between the eye and the end of the head is also less than one eye. So it has big, very big eyes, and we will probably do them pretty big eyes like this, and very, very big glasses, very big, like this here. Okay, and then the body, by the way, let me show you a little bit about the body. So the body, if we started from here, for example, this is the beginning of the body and ending on the head, for example, and the head is this long. From here to here, it's this long. You see how long is the body, the whole body, I mean to the heel. It's almost big as the head. So they're pretty similar. It doesn't seem that way, and most people, when they are doing it, they will make one kind of a very long body with legs like this, and it will not look at the concept, because you see the head is this long and the body should be around this long, a little bit longer maybe than the head. So with all the legs and everything, it should be around through here. So make sure you do this, because if you make longer than this body, it will start to not look that cute, because the head will not look that big, and all those things will kind of fall apart. So we have to be careful about that. So let's just continue working on our ears. They're pretty good. The shape of them is nice, but of course we will continue in our next video, because now we have to finish. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're learning something. Of course, I will continue to tell you everything. I will hope these shortcuts are staying here, because, and see you in the next video.